Good evening, folks. I see y'all having a brisk dialogue in here tonight. What's up, Satellite? What's up, Eva? Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. I'm all nice and warm and cozy in here tonight. It has been raining all over the LA area and the greater southwestern corner of the country, and it has been wet and cold and nasty here. But I'm all tucked in here in my little stream cave, ready to enjoy some power hours with all y'all. Buying up lots of eggs. No, there aren't any to buy. Like, we went to Costco, they didn't have any. We've been going to Trader Joe's, they don't have any. My wife has been settling for buying like extra expensive ones from the Asian supermarkets. Good evening, Lojal High. Good to see you. It already looks geared to be an absolute filler of an episode. Well, I disagree. And Satellite does make a good point that we did or are doing some of the most notable things out of this issue, because it is the DKC cover feature. You could enter to win a Killer Instinct arcade machine. That's super exciting. But yeah, I was a bad steward of the power hours here. I allowed us to do the full playthrough of Donkey Kong Country before we even hit the cover feature for it. So yeah. Rain, you mean that Democrat weapon that somehow involved keeping water in dams? Oh god. Funny, but the news is so grim these days, it's hard to joke about, at least from my angle. Apparently we expect dairy and beef to go the way of eggs. Vets have been getting bird flu from cattle. Yeah, I heard about that. I have heard quite a bit about that, so. Well, guess we're all gonna be vegetarian here. I'm sure that's gonna go over real well with a lot of people. But yeah. Okay, I wanna show you something. I could be an American within a year. Don't. just don't, Justin Brett. I'm definitely second guessing it myself. All right, I want to move myself over here for a second. May not have a choice. Oh no. Oh no. Are they putting tariffs on you as a person? Canadian. It's all just so stupid, chat. It's all just so desperately, obviously stupid. It's up to a 78-year-old man. Yeah. My only saving grace is that this might be the best gin and tonic I've ever made. I got all the it's a double too, but I got all the proportions just right, and it is absolutely delicious. Amsterdam gin, fever tree, elderflower, tonic water, nice thick slice of lime, just the right amount of ice. Didn't overdo it this time, didn't underdo it. It's perfect, chat. It's right where it needs to be. Drink up for America. Before we gotta pour one out for America. Also, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Bulwark. Good evening, Grunt Fodder. Good evening, Chaos. You have that thick lime. Yeah, you do. Correct proportions, twice as much alcohol. Let's see if that changes over the coming weeks and months ahead. My boy Earthworm Jim, the game everyone remembers the animations of and forgets how awful it actually played. Oh, I remember how awfully it played. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I do. Indeed. Anyway, I wanted to move myself over here to point something out real quick. Specifically, this guy. You see this little guy right here? You see how cute and charming he is? Well, we're gonna be bidding farewell to him in probably 2 months. Because when we hit the 1995 issues, we're gonna have a lot less of him and a lot more of him. And I gotta be honest with you. It took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize that this ad over here is actually selling a product and not just the concept of superpower supplies. And it's not just some random snowboarder dude. It's gonna be replaced with a sick graphic. It's gonna be sick, all right. It's gonna be sick. That guy looks like they photoshopped a hot dog out of his mouth. That was an advertisement for season. Who can tell what this is actually advertising? Who can identify the product here? I thought the KI was a Killer Instinct hat or something. It's the beanie, yeah. Gruntfodder actually got it, even though they thought they didn't. Yeah, the ad is for the Killer Instinct beanie. Representative of the superpower supplies. Why is Nintendo Power advertising the concept of winner? Why does the man look like he's like a invisible dick? Indeed, Loader High. It is the hat. You know, up there in the corner of the full page ad. The fuck is going on here? Dude looks like Dave Lang must have looked like when he was like 17. Killer Instinct is the best snowboarding game I know of. That is an insult to SSX, my friend. And we will not stand for that in this house. But yeah, I want to prepare y'all, chat. I want to do what we always talk about and buttress your feelings. I'm helping you to buttress because this little guy is going away. And this dude and all of his mid-90s extreme friends and flannel are going to be taken over. It's really... I never really thought about it before, but the Power Hours are a time for intense reflection upon the minutiae of the magazine. Because, I mean, for Christ's sake, we're starting volume 66, and I've been doing this for... I want to say 4 years. Like, we have been doing the Power Hours for a really, really long time. We've only gone through 60-some issues. We are going over these things with a fine-tooth comb, and it's the perfect opportunity to lament things like the big 90s extreme makeover that the magazine gets in January of 1995. Like, this guy here... This guy, this art style, this charming, like bold line cartoon image was really emblematic of Nintendo Power for a very long time, since the late 80s. And that's going away. Like, the magazine is growing up along with the generation that was reading it, and maybe it grew up too soon, chat. Smell the Axe body spray already. At least Nestor was dead before he got extreme. True enough. True enough. If there was a way to make him any worse, it would have been that. And that's the Liefeld human over there. I read Nintendo Power, there's a dude with multicolored hair, colored contacts, and ocarinas for some reason. I could probably explain the ocarinas. We're gonna leave the Blorbo era of Nintendo Power for the Extreme era. We are. And I just... We've been talking about it for a while. We've been talking about it for the better part of 1994, and I really want to make sure that everybody understands the stakes here. Our little Blorbo's going away. It's gonna be an experience, and it's gonna be a mixed bag. Because, I mean, the games in 95 are very exciting. I am very, very excited to get to 1995 and start digging into the wider array of Super NES releases, a lot of which I never really got to experience. Because I want to say in, like... I mean, I was definitely still playing Super NES games in 95 and 96. I was certainly collecting them. But I think also at the time I may have been moving back towards PC gaming as well. That might have been when we got our first Pentium, if I'm not confusing my timelines here. So I think there's likely to be a lot more games that I overlooked in 95 and 96 than what's come thus far. Oh, I started being all about the Pentiums, baby. Good evening, Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch. I don't want steaks on my breakfast cereals. So you're gonna find the latter half of the Extreme era nostalgic, so I'm interested to see how the shift happens. I mean, that's another thing too that I have to be honest about, is that the Extreme era it's gaudy and it's gross and it's a lot to take in, but there is an element of nostalgia, and for me personally, it's only getting stronger because it harkens back to a simpler, easier time. You know, it's 2025. My country is going to absolute hell, and I get to be unemployed for it. This is not the best time in my life right now. So I find myself looking back on the 90s and the trappings of my childhood with ever increasing nostalgia. I hope y'all can understand that. That it's kind of an overarching theme right now. Did lead to the Attitude Era of wrestling, which has some good shit. Not really questionable shit, but some good. I mean, that's when I was watching wrestling. I mean, the whole extreme period of the 90s was a very strong aesthetic, and it certainly suited some things more than others. And I think professional wrestling was like the perfect vector for it. Like I think the extreme 90s and wrestling absolutely went hand in hand. There are a lot of things that didn't go hand in hand with that aesthetic, but yeah, WWF, WWE definitely did. WCW too. For me, the eras I remember, the Extreme and Y2K eras, and when they sort of crossed over. Come to Australia. Oh, I know you would, buddy. I know when you did. I'm kind of lingering as much as I can in the early 2000s, my Sonic Marathon specifically, because it's what I remember the best of as a kid. It's also the era of Friends, though. Again, just a simpler time. A simpler time on all fronts. Similar, not dumber. Different kind of dumb, though. Back when I didn't feel like my mere existence was an act of defiance. Yeah, I miss that too. We all do. We all do. Can't remember, did they wrestle the pandas in the WWF? No, they almost got sued over that. Or they did get sued over that. So, no panda wrestling. Wrestling about giving you a few hours where you don't need to worry about anything besides cheering for your favorite good guy, awful person, least awful person. Maybe that's why it's swinging back in popularity. Good time for it, I suppose. Vibe I get from wrestling is basically a combo of stunt show and shonen fighting anime, and I respect that energy. You should. Wrestling is deeply entertaining. There is a lot to love about pro wrestling. I enjoyed watching it on my own in the 90s. It was a small but important part of my childhood, and these days I don't watch wrestling myself, but I watch a lot of influencers and content creators who are real big into wrestling, and hearing them talk about it reminds me of all the things that I really enjoyed about it. I just remember the first season of Duckman aired in '94. It really was the best of times. I love Duckman. And you know what? Duckman probably looks downright optimistic at this point, given the way everything else went. You know what I realized? The other day? Look, glancing over at my shelf of graphic novels from the 90s and aughts. Do y'all remember a series called Transmetropolitan? Here, let me grab one. This one with this bald bastard. Written rather tragically by Warren Ellis, but we don't need to dwell on him at the moment. moment. Transmetropolitan was a feels like it was meant to be a cautionary tale of the future, one that envisioned the future of just total gonzo excesses told through the eyes of a custom Hunter S. Thompson pastiche. And I remember reading it back in college and being like, wow, this is nuts. This shit is crazy. This is like a vibrant yet like dark and chilling vision of a dystopian future. And I realized the other day that if anything, it was probably a bit too optimistic. And I just I sat there and stared into the middle distance for a while upon that realization. What a surprisingly optimistic series in some ways. Yeah, absolutely. Dirt Transmet shame Bendis. Wait, did Bendis turn out to be a creep too? Because Ellis certainly did. Also, good evening, Helveet. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. Mom and I got super into WCW in the early 90s. It was fun. We'd always watch it together. My dad put up with it. Come to me, filthy assistants. Scene where the despotic president is masturbating in the American flag and the resolute dust is probably better than the shitheel we have now. Unfortunately, yeah. Tragically, yes. Like, they're like... psychotic fascist president in Transmet still at least understood the importance of like bread and circuses, like keeping up the appearances of being a good American. We don't even have that now. Remember when the Beast was the good one for only carrying 51% of the population survived? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Game called Spinnertality, where you're the new CEO of a company that's been hired by the board to erode the laws of the world to the point where human cloning is allowed so they can live forever. It's a strategy game. That actually sounds really interesting. Pisses me off the most is that I kind of figured I'd eventually get stuck in fascist hell when Trump first got popular. I wasn't expecting to be in fascist hell led by the living embodiments of the nerd emoji. There was a great article weeks back. What was it? The headline was like, I always knew rich white men would burn the world, but I never thought they'd be such losers. And that really stuck with me. Been trying to get my hands on the whole Transmetropolitan series. Is near impossible to buy anywhere without mortgaging your house. Wait, seriously? Because I have the entire run on my shelf right now. I collected a lot of graphic novels in the aughts when I was in college and immediately thereafter. Most of the series I complete, like half of them, I got everything. I have all of Transmetropolitan. I have all of Preacher. I have all of the Sandman, and I have all of Bone. Actually, I guess I didn't finish most of them. Because I have Walking Dead, Invincible, Why the Last Man, Ex Machina, Fables, and Hellboy, and I never completed the runs of those. La-di-da, Mr. Deep Pocket Sauce. Dude, I bought these back when it was like $12 to buy a graphic novel. Like a big like compendium of them. I'm pretty sure I spent less than $100 to collect all of Sandman. Back when it was, you know, the aughts. Actually, here because my anxiety about everything, I need some nice folks for a distraction. You will get that tonight, Helveet. I am absolutely not in the mood to dwell on the state of the world right now. I am perfectly happy to talk comics for a bit before talking video games. I have all the Preacher. I really like Preacher. I like Preacher too. I like Preacher a lot too. It is edgy as fuck. It is definitely one of the edgiest series I have, but it has something to say in all of that, and I do appreciate it. Now, damn millennials and being able to get this stuff I'd want for like 5 cents. Of all the original series of Gantz, all 36 volumes of it. La-dee-da! Other thing I remember from Preacher is that, where is your chin? Burn on the bigot guy. If you don't remember Preacher very well, I think you'd be pretty shocked if you went back and read it. Because keep in mind, it's by the same author that gave us The Boys, Garth Ennis. And if you only know anything about him from The Boys TV show, The Boys comic is a million times worse. Preacher actually has some... It actually pulls back a little bit. It's not as like insanely gross and out there as The Boys. And like I said, it has something that it's trying to say. No, Preacher is a lot better than The Boys. I couldn't handle The Boys. But Preacher I like quite a bit. Garth Ennis made the Castlevania show. I believe Warren Ellis did the writing for the Castlevania show, right? It's real easy to mix up Garth Ennis and Warren Ellis because their last names are very similar and they're both kinda edgy nihilists in their writing. Yeah, they both occupy very similar places in the writing space, though. As far as I know, Garth Ennis isn't any kind of sex pest or anything, while Warren Ellis certainly is. So, who did Spider-Man Reign again? Which one was Reign? Preacher does with Cassidy. Look at what ways a vampire lose long enough becomes an asshole even though I like humanity. Yeah, Cassidy is a fantastic character in Preacher. Didn't Garth Ennis do the first issue of the Crossed too? Yeah, he's the one who came up with Crossed, and that's pretty fucked up. I don't know who did Spider-Man Reign. And I don't want to know who did Spider-Man Reign. Friends keep talking about the comic artist Kieran Gillen, and I think they're talking about the actress Karen Gillian. I'm tired of it. Iron Cross, I would not recommend it. I remember thumbing through the first issue when it came out because back in the day, I really liked Ellis and Ennis, and yeah, I had to put that shit down and bleach my brain real fast. That was decidedly unpleasant. Read good comics, chat. Seek out good comics by good people. They do exist. I'm thinking of import I've got when it comes to the comics is a copy of the original Sam and Max Surfing the Highway. Things that have been out of print for decades now. Nice! That's really cool. I didn't even know that existed. I wouldn't even know where to find it. It might be kind of fun someday to talk some comics on this channel, because I've got 3 entire shelves of graphic novels that I collected, and I wouldn't mind. Well, God, now that y'all have brought it up, I don't know how difficult it would actually be to finish some of these runs. Really love Bone. I love Bone too, and I got my girls to read it as well. I don't think either of them ever finished the entire run. I think they preferred the lighter, fluffier parts of it. So once it started getting a bit grimmer, they fell off of it. Sam and Max started as an underground comic. I did not realize that. Rain is the only reason why One More Day is not the worst Spidey story. Cassie was an interesting character. It seemed he'd rather spend his time on our space. You know, Dave, well, first of all, good evening, Dave. It's good to see you. But across the entire run of Preacher, Arseface is not actually that big of a character. He gets his own kind of like B-plot, which I think is to just kind of give him a nice little coda to his story. Good evening, Dayron. Good to see you. Hack Slash? I'm not familiar with that one. He becomes Elvis. I have a signed copy of The Collected Bone in my drawer. They had those lying around Forbidden Planet in London years. That's so cool. That's awesome. I've read through the entirety of Cerebus, even when the artist and writer went insane with misogyny and creators and religion to be a zealot of. You know, I gotta be honest with you. I've always kind of wanted to pick up Cerebus just to see what happened. Like, just to see how that, to be able to witness that whole breakdown in the text. Read To Strip the Flesh, a manga about a trans man, and enjoyed it. Has a short story about a figuring the statue of David who likes his owner doesn't like him because he's a nude guy. Hack Slash is an action horror comic about girl who's the final girl of a slasher story. Goes around basically trying to kill other slasher villains and saving other. Oh, that sounds super cool. That sounds really good. Tried reading through your Cerebus. I couldn't get far enough to where the insanity starts. Early Cerebus is pretty good. Yeah, if I was gonna get back into comics, the first thing I'd do is probably finish the run of some of these. Probably Hellboy. I think of all the runs I left unfinished, I think Hellboy is the one I regret the most, because I really, really love Hellboy. Everyone should read Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Not a fun comic, but an increasingly important one, sadly. You're damn right about that. Yeah, that one tragically will be a timeless classic. It will always be topical. I just remember in the Buffy comics season 8. And BPRD, yes. I have... Hang on, let me check here. I have 8 volumes of Hellboy and I have 2 volumes of BPRD. So I think Jesus Christ. Wait, I recognize this. Yeah, this is the boss music from Spike McFang. This is so much fun. Hellboy goes places. I know a little bit about it. I know a little bit about where Hellboy goes, and that's mainly why I want to finish collecting the series. You owned all of Akira. Akira the manga kicks ass. I always wanted to collect the Akira manga too. When I was a kid, I started watching anime, you know, with like stuff like Sailor Moon and original Dragon Ball. They got put on at like 6:30 a.m. On our local networks. And then when we got cable and we had the Sci-Fi Channel, I could watch whatever random ass anime film they had on at like, you know, 1 in the morning on a Saturday. And that's how I saw Akira originally. And that blew my mind. That was a formative experience there. And then later in Media Play, they actually had the Akira manga on the shelves. It's huge. It's like 6 giant volumes, right? And I remember I flipped through one and it just seemed really, really different. Like the pacing and structure of the story seemed very different. And I was super intrigued and I always meant to pick it up and I just never did. Hellboy punches Nazis, that's all I need to know. It's good stuff. Own all of Parasite too? I've actually read all of Parasite. I don't own it, but I did read it online and it was very good. Jelly, I got the first 6 books, but I never went after the rest. Always felt too expensive to get the whole series. Oh, you know what else I had? What else I have, and I didn't actually finish the run. I have the Lone Wolf and Cub books. I have almost all of those. I think there's 30 some volumes of them. and I have like 26 or 27, I think. It's probably too late to get the rest in the format that I had. The anime goes up to volume 3 in a very condensed fashion. See, that's crazy. That is absolutely nuts. The movie's like the first 2 volumes and a tiny bit of the third. Lone Wolf and Cub is good stuff. Read a lot of that back in the day too. It really is. It really, really is. It's just so incredibly moody and yeah. As far as the manga goes, more people need to read Yona the Dawn. Fantastic political fantasy adventure series set in fantasy setting based on medieval Korea. Cool. It's always awful at finishing stuff. I have a lot of first halves of things. Yeah, I'm kind of bad about that too. Lone Wolf and Cub in that weird square. Yeah, the little chunky books. Those are the ones I have. The white covers with like the colored stripe, and every single volume has a different color. Don't own the manga for Battle Royale because I think it's a bit too sensationalistic. I don't do on the novel and the movie. Movie directed by Takeshi Kitano, yeah. Movie's really good. I've only ever seen the movie, but it is fantastic. Takeshi's an amazing director. He's kind of like, I feel like Jordan Peele is kind of like the American Takeshi Kitano. Because for those of you that don't know, Takeshi is actually, he's still active. He came up doing comedy. Like he had an entire like comedy group, and they had a variety show on TV and did all kinds of stuff. That's where we get Takeshi's Castle from. That was kind of like a side project of his comedy group. And then eventually he moved into directing and proved to be an incredibly good director. Tragically, I can't recommend Sandman anymore. Yeah. It's always one of those things where it's, you know, everybody's got to do their own moral calculus on it. There are a lot of cases where I can separate the art from the artist, and like I'm not gonna like set my copies of Sandman on fire or anything, but I'm also infinitely less likely to seek out any of Neil Gaiman's works that I haven't experienced yet. Never ruled the Nausicaa manga. The movie covers are very little of it. Wow, because Nausicaa is great too. Tired of my favorite comic and animation heroes turning out to be gross and horrible. Well, the thing is, don't have heroes. We're just not allowed to have heroes anymore. Because if you look up to and admire anybody, they are inevitably going to turn out to be some horrible, horrible person. Good evening, Dragnell. Good to see you. Flop on in. Make yourself at home. I only watched Takeshi's Castle and the Ace Attorney movie adaptation he did. Takeshi's done a lot of stuff. His films are fantastic. His films are really, really good. Ace Attorney movie wasn't Kitano, it was... Oh, Mike! Oh, okay. Lovecraft, in your case, he has the advantage of being dead, yeah. Yeah, the other thing about Lovecraft is it's well-trod territory. You really don't have to remind anybody of all of Lovecraft's baggage anymore. It's cultural literacy. And once you get past that, I mean, it is genuinely really fascinating to read through his work and see how he shaped generations of cosmic horror in his wake, because frankly, a lot of like Lovecraft inspired cosmic horror zeroes in on very, very specific corners of his work. The full body of it covers a lot of really interesting like fantasy concepts and stuff. I feel less bad about liking Lovecraft because he's dead. His stuff is public domain. Other people have done some good stuff with it. Also, just a small semantic thing. But I really see it as liking Lovecraft's work and not Lovecraft himself, you know? There are certain Lovecraft stories that I love that have really, really stuck with me. But again, to me, it's separated. It's separated from the man. You know, it's the way he was, the insane, grotesque ideas that he had certainly helped to form these stories. But I also believe on some level art can stand without the artist. Because ultimately, what we take away from art ends up being independent of whatever the artist really intended. Death of the Author is a much simpler philosophy when the author is literally dead. It is, yeah. And I very much subscribe to Death of the Author. I absolutely do. Curious what your favorite setting in anime manga is? That's a tough one. That's a good question. Do you like how Lovecraft stuff shows up in Conan the Barbarian? Another book written by a weirdo. Also, when no one living has been hurt by him. True enough. True enough. Anecdotal evidence is shit he views his lesson towards the end of his life. Doesn't excuse the harm he did, but there's that. Yeah. Well, dude obviously had a lot of issues, and for whatever harm it did, it did have the benefit of giving us some highly influential literature, so. Realize that Litany of Earth was basically assumed Shadow of Innsmouth was as racist towards the Deep Ones as author was to everyone else. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll do... Now I'm thinking, maybe we will do like a comic night one night, just hang out and talk comics. I really want to get some kind of setup for documents. I really want to get an additional camera setup so I can actually like show y'all stuff, like books and cards and things. It would make it a lot better than just, you know, talking obliquely about stuff. But yeah. Music stand? No, I need a table with a mounted camera pointed down at it. You know, like teachers in Zoom classes use, basically. So I can show you all the things. Yeah, exactly. Study how Zoom teachers manage. That is exactly what I need to do. You want a podium? I do want a podium, but that's more or less unrelated to everything else that's going on right now. So, anyway, chat, we really ought get to the magazine. We spent a hearty 40 minutes talking about fun stuff and interesting stuff and at times difficult stuff. Put your webcam on the mic stand. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's make at least a token bit of progress through November 1994. As was mentioned, now is magazine time after the fun stuff. As it was mentioned real early on in the stream, this one doesn't come with a lot of games that we're likely to get real deep into, but the caveat to that is that's because the two biggest ones, arguably, Donkey Kong Country and Final Fantasy III, we've either already done or are doing. So, but But yeah, let's talk about what's in this issue. Well, let's talk about the schedule, and then we'll talk about what's in this issue, and then we'll get going. Related note, Call of the Sea is a cool take on some Lovecraft stuff. It is, yes. And I did stream that one a while back now, and we had a real good time with that. Okay, so schedule-wise, tonight is the Power Hours. Power Hours will continue on Saturday, Thursday, and Saturday. Those are our magazine nights. Tomorrow night, I've been doing other stuff, chat. I've been busy with other stuff. I haven't gotten anything set for Friday. I will get everything set up tomorrow night. Probably a weird old wheel, but I can't promise you anything. It's at this point equally likely that I just pick some stuff out of my Steam library that I've been meaning to give a try, and we just do like a traditional variety night. I don't know at this point. You'll just have to show up tomorrow and find out. There'll be no stream on Sunday because I don't stream on Sunday, and actually this weekend I won't even be here. We're taking a little weekend trip, leaving Sunday and coming back on Monday because Monday is a holiday. But I will be here to stream on Monday. I should be here to stream on Monday, and we'll be continuing Final Fantasy III, what we now know as Final Fantasy VI. We're in Vector. Or we're heading to Vector. We're gonna check out the Empire's Magitech facility. Just as passive observers, I assure you. Variety night sounds nice. I was looking for new things to add to my wish list. I like wheels and variety. Alright, so anyway, it's November of 1994 here in Nintendo Power. Volume 66. I realize now that I missed my chance to make the Execute Volume 66 joke. But then, I couldn't have made the Sparkster joke either. It was one or the other, and I went with Sparkster. So, the cover feature for this issue is Donkey Kong Country, which, of course, was a big game. It was something of a landmark in the Super NES library, but we also already did a full playthrough of it, so we could revisit it if you really want, but I mean we did a full playthrough of it just a couple weeks ago. Sparkster shows up in this issue. You probably know Sparkster as the Rocket Knight, the armored opossum guy with a jetpack and a sword. I've never been a big Sparkster Rocket Knight guy. I don't remember. I think maybe I streamed one of them a little bit as part of our variety night or some random selection or something. But I can't imagine we'll be sliding past that in this issue. I know it's one of the things that people are excited about. Earthworm Jim gets a feature in this one. I'm definitely not a big Earthworm Jim fan. I don't know how many people around here are. Yeah. Play the first one part of a Genesis night. Oh, okay, cool. There are sports. We'll talk about sports as little as possible. Final Fantasy III. We'll look through the Final Fantasy III feature. We'll read through it until we hit spoilers, and then we'll just glide on past. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures. We've already tried this one. I want to say this might have shown up. This must have shown up in some kind of like preview feature, because I know we've already given it a try. Super Adventure Island 2 is the one from this issue that I'm really excited about, because I like Super Adventure Island 1. Super Adventure Island 2 is a very, very different structure, and I've always wanted to give it a try. This song's pretty good, by the way. This song is from... I don't know, because it's not annotated. It's from Hudson Soft and a company called Birthday. I think whatever it is starts with die. Hard to tell. This song is also from that game. Super Adventure Island 2 is good like Zelda 2. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a whole adventure and exploration aspect to it. Yeah, exactly, Shadows, exactly. Also, good evening, Cheese Toast. I see you there. Only joy I get from Earthworm Jim is his nickname EWJ takes longer to say than his name. There's also Wild Snake, which I don't think is going to be nearly as exciting as that might sound. And then we have a single Game Boy game, which is just a port of Contra 3 from the Super Nintendo. Daikaiju Monogatari. Oh, okay. Cool. We got a whole host of special features, but they all focus on very specific games. Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 2, Illusion of Gaia, which you've also already just been through, and Space Invaders. And then the regular features are regular. I'm not hiding anything behind me. It's all the usual stuff. So, with that said, chat, how about we turn the page, get started on requests, and make the magic happen. Oh, we also need that one too. Earthwind Jim led to MDK for a shiny, so that's kind of nice. So I was vaguely intrigued by Wild Snake at the time, but not enough to seek it out, which means you're gonna play it in my stead. Fair enough. Entirely fair. Zoom in on the letter art. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just grab this. There we go. There we go. While you're taking in this gorgeous letter art, I'll read any interesting letters we have here. Secret of Mana is an outstanding game. It surely is. Glad you've given extended coverage to that game. Felt like a cross between Link to the Past and Final Fantasy 2. Alright, gushing over Secret of Mana. Love the expanded coverage on Secret of Mana. I fully disagree with your editorial comment regarding how we should be enjoying your expanded coverage of Secret of Mana. What coverage? All you did was tell the story. You didn't give any help at all with the exception of giving some information on 3 weapons. Whatever happened to dungeon maps or maps of the overworld? Secret of Mana coverage, while nicely laid out, is very disappointing. Peggy Stone of Garden Grove, California is pissed. And Nintendo Power actually penned a reply. One of our main goals when we decided to give extra coverage to RPGs was to turn readers onto the fact that RPGs are cool. In Japan, RPGs are the best-selling games, but here they fit into a niche market. Many great RPGs have recently been released and many more on the way. Final Fantasy III should please just about every RPG fan. Even though our Secret of Mana coverage was not totally revealing, we wanted to show our support for the game and the RPG genre by covering the game in more detail than a normal game review would. I think that's pretty even-handed of them, chat. Oh, that was a puff piece. Can you focus on who the blonde person is on the middle left letter? That's... Well, I mean, it's Samurai Showdown. Wasn't there some blonde swordsman lady in Samurai Showdown? Because I'm pretty sure it's her. Yeah, the letters are... I mean, honestly, y'all have a better view of them than I do because it's not blown up on my screen. There's Street Fighter 2 plus Mario and the genie from Aladdin. Below that is Samurai Showdown. Below that is the 2 Craids from Metroid and Super Metroid. The middle one is Ryu from Street Fighter 2 and the flying... Is that Nina from Breath of Fire? Top right is NBA Mario. Middle right is all of the Nintendo mascots ganging up to kick the shit out of Sonic. Below that is Taffy from Clay Fighter, dressed up as all the different Mortal Kombat characters. And on the very bottom right is some very cartoony Street Fighter 2 art. How impressive is Smash Brothers? Shadows. Shadows going on the defensive here. Are they legally allowed to beat up Sonic in the magazine? If a fan pens it, yes. Nintendo Power can't do anything more than just cast vague aspersions on their competing systems, but fans can do whatever they want. I don't even think this is the most objectionable anti-Sega propaganda that fans have sent in. That is Sonic, a legally distinct hedgehog. Sega magazines had fan art of Sonic just fucking killing Mario at the time. Yeah. Let's not pretend that this only went one way, okay? Like, we are here within the pages of Nintendo Power, and we are more than ready to cast a critical eye upon their text and inclusions and allusions to other systems. But don't pretend for a minute that Sega and other companies weren't doing the same thing on their own time, okay? Begun these console wars have. Let's see what else. Recently I was trying to get our 7-year-old son to come to breakfast, get ready for school. Kid was dreaming about Super Nintendo. Okay, whatever. Be moving to New Mexico around the 15th of July. And he got, as a going away present, he got Secret of Mana. Awesome. And then they have, oh shit, let's check this out. I'm gonna redo this. So right here, contest winner, 1993 Nintendo Power Awards contest winner. Maureen Wachowski from Guilford, Connecticut was grand prize scammer of our Players Poll contest from Volume 58. Maureen was especially lucky because year after year, the Nintendo Power Awards consistently draw more entries than any other Players Poll. 25 Super NES games of her choice was the prize, and to say that Maureen has excellent taste in games. Mega Man X, Mortal Kombat, Star Fox, Secret of Mana, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Aladdin, Super Star Wars, and The Magical Quest were just some of her selections. There's this fan art of Sonic fucking shooting Mario to death with a gun while Alex Kidd reaped Luigi with a scythe in the Sega magazines. Yeah. I think if we ever... I know a little bit about the other gaming magazines going on at the time. I had issues of like, oh god, I can't even remember their names. But I had some of the I had single issues of some of the third-party console magazines at the time, and oh my god, they were just raw. Nintendo Power was like the tame all-ages magazine for everybody. And hopefully someday we can take a look at these other magazines. Can you see the Sega mags? I don't have a line on any of them. I didn't own any of them, and I don't know where I would find them. Hopefully there's archives of them on the Internet Archive or somewhere else, but yeah. What nerd brought Nintendo Power to Little Chichen Itza? Jonathan Robbins took Nintendo Power all the way from his Henderson, Tennessee home to the Mayan pyramids at Chichen Itza in Mexico. Cool! Good for him. All right, anyway, chat, that's the letters page. Let's roll. Roll on to Danky Kang country. Let me get out of the way so you can see this, you can see the map legend here. Since they did actually bother to map out all these zones. Ones that exist are very odd and disconnected. It's more like several magazines that entirely rebrand for different systems. No, there were a couple. I think one was VGM, Video Games Monthly, I want to say. And they would do coverage from all of the major consoles every month. I was interesting one at the time with Fleetway Sonic the Comic, which is like a hybrid of gaming magazine, different comics based on Sega games at the time. Oh, EGM, Electronics Games Monthly. Thank you. That's it. Yeah, EGM. EGM is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I had at least one issue of EGM, and I had another issue of something. I think Mark Millar did a Streets of Rage series in there. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. All right. Inside Exposed. Inside coverage of this year's hottest Super NES probably game. You were reading about DK's most outrageous adventure for a while, so now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty and start talking strategies. Following pages are small sampling of the areas that DK and Diddy will encounter. So seeing it all laid out here, there's essentially six worlds, and then the boss fight on the ship. And they marked out the different kinds of levels in the box in the lower right corner. Jungle, temple, forest, cave, snow, factory, underwater, treetop, mine, and boss. So let's see. Congo Jungle has 5 stages and a boss. Monkey Mine, same. The later areas, Glacier, the factory, and the caverns have, caverns have 5 and a boss. Glacier and factory have 6 and a boss. Used to have a subscription to the US release of Next Generation magazine. I'm not sure if that's one that I had. I remember the third-party magazines I had some like really edgy comics in them. One was like done like Robot Chicken style, where they basically made a comic strip out of photographing action figures, and that had some real cringeworthy humor in it that I'm sure aged like fine milk. That's one danger of trying to do other console magazines from the time is they aged real poorly. The humor in some of those magazines make your toes curl. Fleetway is probably the least like that. Took way too long to realize why there's so many barrels in this Donkey Kong game. I mean, they're mostly used in very different ways than the traditional Donkey Kong barrels, right? Alright, they decided to map out all of Ropey Rampage. In the Ropey Rampage, in the first stage of the game, it does provide us with a great cross-section of enemies and obstacles, as well as several hidden items. When we finish the first area in the game, Jungle Hijinks, the setting turns dark and it continues over to Ropey Rampage, but now it's raining. The sun does come out again. No, that's nice to know. Sega Power was, you don't want to see that, wouldn't be fun. Yeah, that would be my concern with a lot of those. Like, I know we'd be safe with PC Gamer. PC Gamer wasn't too far off from the tone of Nintendo Power. It felt a lot like a Nintendo Power for adults. Had some curse words, had some edgier advertisements, but the copy itself wasn't so bad. And they had, back in the 90s, PC Gamer had some really great writers working for them. Some of their takedowns of really shitty games were just legendary. To this day, I still remember laughing so hard I cried at the review of Extreme Paint Brawl 2. Talking about AI characters moonwalking while shooting paintballs from their butt. Dreamcast Magazine, the UK was pretty alright. Nintendo Power After Dark. Computer Gaming World review of Ultima 8 is incredible, so put down. Yeah. If it's up to me, if it's left entirely up to me and I actually have the resources for it, in the far off future of the 22nd century, when we actually finish going through the full run of Nintendo Power, I would love to start in on PC Gamer. I would love to do that. In case you forgot what edgy. No, you know what? I'm convinced no one is ever gonna forget those Daikatana ads. And that includes people that were not even alive when those Daikatana ads ran. They are so incredibly infamous in the gaming world that people are going to be talking about how John Romero is going to make you his bitch. Like, long after all of us are dead and buried. Best review I've ever read was a review of Quake 2 map, and they listed the fun factor the map is sitting on angry lobsters. And yes, you are absolutely right. It deserves to be remembered. Nothing more than a cautionary tale. A warning against ever circling back to a time as edgy as that. Alright, we got mapping of Bouncy Bonanza. I actually remember this one. I think I died a bunch of times on this level, so I had to run through here a whole bunch. Put it on his tombstone. By all accounts, John Romero is actually a very cool and chill dude these days, so I think, personally, he deserves to be forgiven for his misdeeds with Daikatana, and he certainly paid for it, you know. Dude was living large in the wake of Doom and Quake. Had his own studio, his own like high profile everything, and just blew it all up. So I feel like I feel like we can't give him any harder a time than he probably gave himself watching all that crash and burn. Carmack is definitely less cool, which is unfortunate. I will fully admit to being the kind of online nerd that clung to every word that came from John Carmack back in the 90s when Quake 2 was big. But yeah, he really showed his whole ass in the intervening years. Daikatana was released 2 years after Half-Life. Daikatana had a pretty hellish development cycle, which does explain some of how that game ended up being the way it was. FPS games were a license to print money then too. They were, yeah. It would be really interesting. Chat. I remembered something. That I wanted. Okay. Time out on the magazine. We need to talk about something. It's not actually core memory has been unlocked. It's not actually the best night to do this since we're doing the power hours and people are much more console focused tonight. It'd be much smarter. Maybe I'll revisit this topic tomorrow night, but I need to take a minute because I remembered the other day that we had talked about doing like special nights of like one night looking at a particular game series or a particular like type of game. And I know people have suggested a bunch of these and I don't remember any of them. I remember one. That's a lie. I remember one, and this was the one that brought it back to mind. I remember at one point we had talked about doing a night of Metal Slug games, like just going through a big chunk of the Metal Slug series, and just playing those for a night. So I want to take a minute out of the power hours because we've accomplished so much tonight. And talk real quick about what kinds of like special engagement nights y'all would be interested in seeing. Doesn't necessarily have to be a game series, because what made this pop back into my head was what if we did like a night of like Doom clones, like lower profile first person shooters that came out in the wake that came out to capitalize on the success of Doom. But those are just some examples. Like what I'm asking you directly. Yeah, exactly, like Nightmare 3D. I'm asking what kinds of special nights would y'all be interested in seeing? Would a mecha game night be possible, you think? You gotta be more specific than that. Like, Metal Slug is pretty specific. Ys Falcom night is pretty specific. Doom clone night is pretty specific. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, of mecha games out there. We know you're Rise the Triad Pro. I fucking wish, man. Bad as Daikatana was, I do think it's a good thing it humbled Ramirez so damn much because it seems pretty cool nowadays. I agree, yeah. I definitely agree. SSI Gold Box D&D night. Wherever our Dominic is in the world right now, I think his ears just pricked up. I'm writing all these down, by the way, because I do not want to forget about this again. Interested in seeing a game that highlights the breakfast cereal-based games? Chex Quest. You want a Chex Quest night. I get that. Game Boy pinball games? GBA FPS night? I remember we took a look at Serious Sam on GBA, and that was pretty surprising. I know if this is what you're looking for at old lesser-known games you were fond of would be cool. Yeah. I can mark that down. Rogue Night, where you play actual Rogue. I was thinking 6 Degrees of Freedom Night. There aren't that many of those between Descent, Forsaken, Overload. They're all pretty samey. That is true, yeah. We have Zelda at Home Night. That's out of left field. If we consider starting a run Final Fantasy 3, what we know now is Final Fantasy 6. I know this I'll put that down. Wheel of anything that keeps us from playing Earthworm Jim again. I may have had ulterior motives for bringing up this topic right now. May or may not. Oh, I missed that one. What's up, Naren? I'd suggest Earth Siege, Star Siege for a Mecha Night. I imagine those are a pain in the ass to find right anywhere. I would put in the effort because, frankly, those were my mecha games. I wasn't a Mech Warrior guy. I was a Star Siege guy. GTA Clone Night? That's an interesting thought. Tex Murphy Night, Game Show Night. So lump games like Fury 3 and Hellbender in with those. Okay. Vehicular Combat Night. Oh, Twisted Metals. I don't know how much of the deep lore was established with the Earth Siege games, but by the time Star Siege, the background lore was insane. For a long time, I would catch myself saying like Christ and Hunter as an exclamation to things. Need for Speed Night, that could be cool. Need for Speed games evolved a lot over time. And the last time I was really into Need for Speed games was Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit. Vigilante 8 was an awesome vehicle combat series. I swear no one knows about those games. Spanish Games Night. Like games developed in Spain by Spanish devs. I think I suggested on the forum I should go do that. Yeah, if you want to provide some added encouragement here, if there are specific games that you'd like to see for these nights too, put them on the Weird Old Wheel sheet, because when I go to pull games together for these special nights, the first place I'm gonna look is gonna be on the Weird Old Games sheet. Not sure how easy this would be to set up a Maxis Sims night. Ooh, I would fucking love to do that. I would love to do that. Both Spanish language games and games with Spanish dubs turn on. It'd certainly be interesting, but I would run into the same problem there that I do with Japanese games. Without a translation patch, I'm gonna have a real hard time figuring out what I'm doing. Unless they're just straight action games. Max's Sim Night would fucking rule. I would be very much down for that. Sim Tower? I could spend an entire night doing Sim Tower and Ute Tower, I think. With a possible surprise appearance by Project High Rise. But yeah, I could do... I mean, I could easily do one night of the mainline Sim Cities. I mean, I can't do... Max's Sim Week, yeah. Absolutely. I could easily do one night comparing, contrasting Sim Cities 1 through 4. I could do a night of their really weird, crunchy simulators, like Sim Earth and Sim Isle and Sim Farm. I would devote one night to the Sim Tower games. I would devote a night to the weird Japanese-only ones. Because there's some really, really interesting, like Sim-branded Japanese only titles. Can you Simcopter around your city? I only know one streamer that delves into retro 4 and indie games. Some are pretty good. It's a tough thing. You know, if you're not bilingual, it's a tough thing to do. Sid Meier Night, Tycoon Night. Tycoon Night would be interesting. Y'all, if you didn't live through it, you might not realize what an absolute deluge of Tycoon games there were back in the 90s. After SimCity and Railroad Tycoon hit it big, holy shit, they made everything Tycoon. And most of them were garbage. I love these ideas. I would like to subscribe to your newsletter. SimAnt kind of sucked. SimAnt was a rough one. I am happy that I have beaten it on stream, because now when people ask me to play SimAnt, I can just point to that and just not do it again. Pirate Night. Oh, Pirate Night. Oh my God, Pirate Night. I would go nuts with a fucking Pirate Night. We might have to do like a pirate week, because I have so many of them. There's so damn many we could do. Pirate Night, but you paid for the games. Edutainment Night. I started typing in Learning Company Night, decided to Google it, and wow, they're prolific. Man, that's good. Even me wouldn't hit the shit I remember. My mistake that everyone's texting with a novice level understanding of Spanish. I mean, I will personally apologize for this. I took 5 years of Spanish language classes in school, and I only passed 3 of them. I am garbage at foreign languages. I am married to a Japanese woman. My children are bilingual English-Japanese, and I still can't speak Japanese. I suck at language. Hi, I'm an English major. Nice to meet you. Being for Tycoon Night, there's a genre I'm not in the least interested in playing myself. Would love watching someone dive into. Yeah, you know, the thing is, a lot of these, like, I was debating a while back, like last year. Oh, I know I'm not great at English either. You don't have to remind me. I was debating doing some like SimCity 2000, SimCity 3000. I ultimately determined they would probably get too slow and boring for an entire night. But if we packaged a bunch of them up together and did like the spread, if we did like SimCity 1, SimCity 2000, SimCity 3000, SimCity 4, I think we could keep things moving enough and have enough to talk about to keep it interesting. Wheel of Apogee shareware. You know, I actually have the 3D Realms collection on Steam. Like all the old 3D Realms games that ever came out on there. Play 4D SimCity, play them all at once. Shareware CDs. Studied 5 years of Spanish, raised in Texas, still bad at Spanish. I think exposure therapy and immersion would be fun. I could see that. I could see that. Picked up Spanish fairly easily, but German was a hard fucking nope. Maybe it's because of where I live since I'm around Spanish a lot. Could be. Could be. And maybe once your brain kind of acclimated to Spanish, maybe it was harder to go in the other direction for German. So, okay, you've given me a ton of really good ideas, chat. I'm gonna cut you off here. If you have other ideas, though, I don't really want to limit anybody. Any further ideas, throw them in Discord. In maybe feedback. I don't think anything's going on in the feedback channel right now. But yeah, anything else that clicks with you. German is easy. I wonder why you would say that. Best Spanish class was a teacher who was fluent in like 6 languages, so he knew a lot about how to pick them up, was good at communicating that. Probably the best Spanish class I had was taught by a professor who was fluent in, seriously, like 15 or 16 languages. And he was just wildly entertaining because he'd be teaching a Spanish vocabulary, and I think he would get bored with the class and be like, and this is how you say this in Swahili, and this is how you say this in Thai, and this is how you say this in Russian. And that would get really interesting. But yeah, B9 jelly donut. All right, anyway, Danky Kangs, Clam City. I think oh, Jesus Christ, look at this motherfucker here. That's horrifying. Those manky Kongs are, gross. I think I've had the first one for all my Spanish class in college. I retained a lot more than I did. Yeah, agreed. In retrospect, I feel like I only had one really good Spanish teacher. So I think they might have picked like a representative level of each type, like jungle and underwater and snowy. Oh shit! Hey, we made the Sparkster. Cool, great. They didn't really have an end to that Donkey Kong feature, so that's okay, I guess. Sparks galore! Sparkster Rocket Knight flies again. Once again, the Legion of Rocket Knights is calling on its champion Sparkster to save the world of Aginisem? From tyranny. Join this valiant possum as he fights minions of wolf soldiers, hordes of flying demons, and their evil mechanized leaders. He struggles towards the final battle with Generalissimo Lioness. But it won't be easy. Sparkster must think his way through 9 menacing stages with only an occasional piece of fruit and your help keeping him going. Fire up that rocket pack, sharpen that sword, and remember the future of the world is at stake. Quit playing possum and start playing Sparkster. Once again, where? Nowhere. This is the only one. Spanish teacher was terrible, made us memorize stuff, and then for tests she played these tapes where people talk really fast and accents we hadn't heard and complain when we failed the test. 4 years of that, I learned nothing. But yeah, that sounds miserable. Did Duolingo classes for a while until they kept rearranging the lessons, asking me to start from the start again. Aginisem, notice if you read that backwards, it's Messinige. I love Opossums, this version does not please me. He's gotta have attitude. It's the mid-90s, your adorable mascot's gotta have some kind of tude to stand out. The story, Princess Flora has been captured by Generalissimo Lioness along with the magic peace pendant. Some Sparksters to save the young princess and defeat the mechano bosses of Lioness's army before planet Aginisem is swallowed up by their evil shadow. Okay, cool. Weird because in the actual games is severely lacking in tude. I mean, come on. For years, the advertising for Kirby made him like all angry and as badass as you could make a pink cream puff. But in game is this adorable, gormless little blob. It's the way it's always been. One of those adorable Australian opossums, the horrifying North American ones. I assume North American, yeah. I stand my horrifying North American opossum. All right, stage 1 is to the ship. We get on a ship and we fight a mechanical ape and a big golden guy thing. Belly of the Beast. This feels a little bit like the Meta Knight stage from Kirby Superstar. It looks like it. I doubt it feels like it. But the whole concept kind of reminds me of that. Flying onto some big doom ship and yeah. Buddy up in stage 3 and some kind of chicken walker thing. Some of the art that Nintendo Power came up with is pretty great. Though I gotta say, it feels like they made him look a lot like Sonic here. Like it feels kind of like there was a conscious decision. They're fanged gremlins that scream at their own ass and they're ugly cute. It's a floating factory on the sea, and the night has only just begun. Someone's told make him look like bootleg Sonic. Yeah, we have Sonic at home. We have Sonic on our console. What more do you need? What else could you possibly ask for? Not a Genesis, that's for damn sure. And it kind of looks like how some Western art used to portray Knuckles. All right, Sparkster. Alrighty then, chat. Here we go. Hungry and go roast some potatoes. Thanks for the levity. My pleasure, Helvy. Enjoy your potatoes. Gotta admit, a roast potato sounds real good at the moment. No, honey, don't stand in the fire. I'm sorry, did the king just push her into a teleporter or something? Will gonna do herbs and some parm because I have it. That sounds amazing. That sounds so good. All right, here we go. Alicia, yeah, roasted potato sounds super good right now. Wow, they just drop you in here. Okay. Cool. All right, how the hell does this work? Looks like it might be the top buttons I want. He looks a lot angry in this one for some reason. He's more extreme now. The 90s had their way with him. Oh, what the hell is that? Weird. I like the reflections, that's pretty cool. Ah, there we go. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. Jesus Christ, he goes fast. Wonder what inspired them to have him do that. Their crime Sega and Sonic have to answer for popularizing the mascot platformer with attitude. Wah! Seems pretty good so far. Lots of detail and smooth animation action. The only problem for me is that he is hard to control. He is like too fast. I mean, honestly, God, Jesus. It might be a me thing. It might just be the way that I am not particularly well acclimated to momentum platformers and like high-speed platformers. Robot designs are weird. Recall the speed not being as extreme in the Genesis game. Like, that is insanely fast. Fast enough that I just get super confused as to what I'm doing. Since it seems to be the original Rocket Knight is far and away the best of them. Blast processing, it had to be faster. Also, I really don't like the camera in this. It's kind of hard to get to focus on the right things. I just realized I'm knocking those guys' clothes off. Jet seems pretty dangerous to actually use. Rocket Knight fandom still fucking hate the 360 PS3 one? Yes, or at least I do. Oh shit. Feels like it's the speed of a Super Star Wars game. Yeah, it does. It does. That is, I find that to be very accurate. Whack! Oh, look at that dickhead. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I've been B-mood. Wow, that's not easy. Bro. I think the first one's by the Contra team. Bro, quit jumping on me. Ow. Ow. I was like, he's got to be close. Just kind of confused. The first one was legit one of my favorite Genesis platforms. The Genesis version of Sparkster is very different from this one. I wonder if there's a reason they decided not to just port it directly. If they had some kind of exclusivity agreement. One sec. Oh god, that's fire. God. That's how I need to do that. Because in Japan there are different games. Well, that would explain it, wouldn't it? Genesis, Sparkster's Rocket Knight Adventure 2. This one's Sparkster everywhere. What's up, Trade-On? Good to see you. Yeah, why is that there? Rocket Knight Adventures and Sparkster sound like different games to you? Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I find this a little annoying. Because it's so hard to see what I should be doing or where I'm going. Cool, that just kills you. Oh god. That didn't help me. Oh god! See, like, you can't even see those guys until they're close enough to flamethrower you. Oh, up. Seeing why this one's mentioned less. Sprites seem too large in this one. It's a little too zoomed in for how it handles the camera. Empire is based entirely on yeeting, so the Genesis one is zoomed out. Good game, a lot. It feels like a remake of OG Rocket Knight Adventure. At the same time, there are a lot of questionable decisions in this. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just really obnoxious to play. Is part of the reason I dropped this? Of course, yeah. Okay, that's cute. I like that. What are we doing down here? Oh. There's a shmup section. Oh. It's like, how is that not hitting me? God damn it, stop it! Oh, okay. Oh, hi. Okay, I think I'm good. It's cute, it's charming, but it's just not fun to play. It is, unfortunately, just not that fun. I regret to inform you. Common as a giant robot mech fight, what also happens in the OG. In the OG, it's easy to win if you understand how to juke and have the right reflex. In this game, it's RNG. Thought this would be a sure bet since Genesis Rocket Knight kicks ass. Well, we learned they're not the same game. That's good to know. Still better than Earthworm Jim. Yeah, double plus, not looking forward to that. So what is this in? Creepy Crane? Yeah, okay, whatever. I would have liked to have seen this Chicken Walker thing, but oh well, whatever. Hey, let's talk about Killer Instinct for a bit. How about that? Randomly flail, there's no way to predict when he'll attack or how he'll attack. Get in their whale and hope he doesn't kill you. That sucks. You can beat anyone in Street Fighter 2 eyes closed. You don't even have to think about what moves it takes for Raiden to electrocute his opponent. Your rage is much more than primal, and Virtua Fighter is so easy it makes you want to cry. You're the elite, the pinnacle player at the top of your game. Are there any challenges that remain? There sure is. It's called Killer Instinct. That's the hottest fighting game to ever hit the arcades. There's actually quite a lot of fighting theory packed into the game. We want to help you understand it better. It's the Nintendo power, man. Nintendo power just goes on these tears sometimes. Is any of this actually worth reading? The theory of auto seconds. Here, let me get out of the way. Let's see this diagram they got here. They're diagramming shit, chat. There's the diagram. The key are there to key you in on how auto seconds work. The control panel is set up like the diagram illustrates. You have your directional controls, press 3 buttons each for high attacks and low attacks. Auto seconds is a term we like to use to describe the second move of a combo and how it relates to the first. KI auto seconds apply to jumping combination moves. Looking at the layout of the controls, the auto second will correspond as the arrows indicate. Depending on which button you press as part of your first move, the arrow shows you what button the second part of the combo should be. You don't have to follow this rule, but if you want to get up into the realm of 6 to 8 hit jumping combos, you need to memorize this theory. Did it get an SNES port? Did it though? It did. It did. I guess we can try this, huh? What's up, Empires? Good to see you. Doing okay. How you been? No, got a Game Boy port. Well then. Be as terrified of that as you will. This doesn't seem like a very good breakdown of how to do these. Like, these all seem to be describing what the combos do, like, not how to do them. So, I don't know. Gotta have it last time to remind yourself it's not a rhythm jam. Some of the good stuff, cutting down the drinking. Sounds like progress. Sounds good. Let's play some Killer Instinct, shall we? And let's flail on some buttons for a bit. Well, I know this because pretty sure the idle animation of Conker's bad for a day is in playing Game Boy Killer Instinct. Let's see. Kill. We'll do that one. How about that? How about that? Play Jago, spam Light Punch. Will do! Will do, because I think I'm gonna need all the help I can get. I've never played Killer Instinct. Ever. I've watched a fair bit of it, but watching Killer Instinct doesn't really confer a lot of information to the viewer. Killer Instinct. Alright. It's like Balatro in that sense. Oh boy, this gonna be chunky. Oh god, where are all my frames of animation? Jago! Orchid! Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Cool. Oh, you can just... Oh, you really can just do that, huh? Oh, you really can just do that. Let me show you the KI remaster was when it first came out. All you got access to was, for free, was Jago. Oh, right! Killer Instinct doesn't have, like, proper rounds. You just get 2 health bars. Winners speed qualify? What does that mean? But, yeah, there we go. Met Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Boy, and KI, you're near Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Boy. Mirror match already? That one KI Gold 64 for me on the hardest difficulty. That's a Hadouken! This motherfucker's just doing Hadoukens! I really want to know what he's saying. I want to know what he's saying so bad. Hey, fuck you again! Does this game have a block button or something? Like, how do you block in this? Can you block in Killer Instinct? Is it a fighting game without blocking? Hadouken is a real martial art move. It can't be copywritten. I think it's hold back. It is not working. Continue. Also, did they just... It almost sounds like they just got the Mortal Kombat guy to announce for this, too. Like, those are definitely blocks. He's definitely blocking things. Block that. Okay. We had the same idea. Sounds like it's just block high and low like Street Fighter. Okay. How do you block out in the middle of that? I was really hoping that would just work. Jesus Christ. So if they block what you do, you just kind of die. And this is Chris Sutherland, longtime Rare staff, who also voiced all the voice samples for Banjo and Kazooie. I'm gonna try some other... I'm gonna try the Skellington. Surely the Skellington is awesome. Way too scary for me, I know Ponzikar. I have nightmares about this guy. Remember practically no moves for anyone other than Jago? I don't care. I'm just mashing buttons for a bit. Just to get that initial killer instinct experience. Haha! Why are we playing Steven Tyler? Now you get a karate match where one guy's undead and gets the sword and the shield. Well, this next guy is on fire. This next guy is made of lava. I feel like punches and kicks here wouldn't really do you a whole lot of good. Eat shield. Dr. Manhattan drank orangeade. Spinal might be a charge character, because I can get a special fire sword attack by charging. And fair to let guys painful to touch compete in this hand-to-hand combat tournament. Man, fuck off. Wait, I have a... I kicked the fire guy off a ledge and he went splat. Now I have to fight the ice guy. Come on, man. Let me just cheese you. Whoa, he's got teleport? What the absolute hell? Arcades, you have like this spinny swishy animations for everyone on the versus screen. Glacia's cheap as shit. Jesus fucking Christ. So not the monkey that had fart attack or something? No, that was Primal Instinct. That's the one where you play as dinosaurs. Oh, yeah, Primal Rage, sorry. What the hell was I thinking? Okay, before I go, I want to play as the robot guy. We could be brothers. I'm gonna punch, and if you run into it, it's your own fault. Glacius really doesn't like projectiles. He will punish the shit out of you for it. Alright. Now Glacius doesn't like you. Alright. Killer Instinct. More like killer shit stink. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Playing against Glacius is really tricky on 64 in the actual frame rate. Yeah, Mao got him. Yeah, Killer Instinct was not for me. This whole, like, I kind of feel like the whole late 90s era of fighting games maybe wasn't for me. I was going to hire you to write my 2000s webcomic. Yes! Finally, regular employment. All right. Alright. Worm your way out of this game. What if I could, magazine? Anti-recommendation, skip this. A far field of cow chips and hay bales comes one of the wildest games ever made. It's got everything. Crazy characters, non-stop action, some of the most amazing graphics you've ever seen. Some of the most amazing graphics you've ever seen. Loving the new generation of Super NES games, Earthworm Jim. Only fighting game I enjoy is Def Jam Fight for New York. Holy crap, that game was awesome. I really started playing fighting games with Tekken 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I've always been more of a fan of, I guess, team-based 2D games, team-based 2D fighters, and fluid 3D fighters. Of all the 3D fighters I've played, I think I enjoyed Tekken and Soul Calibur the most. And then the 2D games I played, Marvel vs. Capcom and Capcom vs. SNK were the ones that I really, really liked. I did not like Virtua Fighter, no. I did not like Virtua Fighter. Dead or Alive was okay. It was fast-paced, but I wouldn't exactly call it fluid. Yeah. Yeah. Who is this Jim anyway? One day an unsuspecting worm was crawling along when a strange object fell from the sky right on top of him. It was a spacesuit unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Suddenly a blast of space radiation shot through the dazed worm, turning him into a giant mutation. Earthworm Jim was born. Following close behind the suit was the nasty Psy-Crow, sent by an unknown leader to get the suit back. I do enjoy Virtua Fighter. It took a few games to hit a sweet spot beyond holy shit polygons. Yeah, see, I played the old Virtua Fighters, like 1 and 2. That was like whatever. And then I have Virtua Fighter 4 maybe on PlayStation 2. And at that point, I was just like, I could be playing Tekken instead. The reason they got good. I always thought that the Virtua Fighter games were a bit too far on the technical side for my taste. Like, to me, there was, at the time, in the late 90s, there was like a continuum of 3D fighters. And on the one end, you had Dead or Alive. It was real simple. It was just straight like rock, paper, scissors mechanics. And it was fast-paced, and it was visceral, and that was it. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you had Virtua Fighter, which was like slower and more strategic, and like all of your attacks went very specific places at very specific times. And then somewhere in the middle there fell stuff like Soul Calibur and Tekken. Tekken had a shitload of moves, but it was, to me, it was never as technically demanding as Virtua Fighter was. Fighters Megamix is the best AM2 fighter? I'm trying to remember if I played any other 3D fighters. I don't think I did. Yeah, I mean, I was mainly interested in 2D fighters more anyway. Capcom vs. SNK 2 is probably my favorite fighting game of all time. I spent so much time in it, and I enjoyed it so much. And it was kind of tough coming out of that, because it got me really interested in Street Fighter and King of Fighters. But the problem that I had was I wasn't very good at King of Fighters mechanics, and I thought Street Fighter characters were boring. I just didn't like the Street Fighter characters as much as the King of Fighters characters, but I sucked at King of Fighters. So I just kind of kept to Capcom vs. SNK 2, because that was a sweet spot for me. I got to play as all my favorite SNK characters, but in a system that I was actually decent at. M2, the studio behind Virtua Fighter, Fighting Vipers, Super Scalar, games like Outrun, Hang On, Space Hero. Okay. Oh God, like right here, right up front, we get why I have zero interest in Earthworm Jim. It's gross. I don't like gross games, chat. I'm just not here for it. I'm not here for games with gross aesthetics. Like, if gross stuff happens in the games, like, you know, I play a lot of Caves of Cud, and like everything gets coated in slime and blood and ooze and oil and stuff. It's like, whatever. But not this. This game is designed specifically to be gross, and I don't enjoy it. Never played fighting games as a kid outside of Smash, and I was eventually exposed to them in college. I had no framework to build on. The people actually playing them were too good for me to actually get my footing. Thinking my ass handed me 90% of the time. See, that's exactly how I started. Like, I started my senior year of high school with a bunch of people that knew fighting games inside and out, and I took my licks and I learned from what they were doing until I figured out how to counter it and develop my own strategies. So, I mean, any time you play a multiplayer game, you got to go into it knowing you're gonna get your ass kicked. That's just how you learn. It's like going all the way back to the ancient game of Go. There's an old saying that new players should hurry up and lose their first 50 games so they can start learning how to play. I've done that if anything was available consistently. It was always different games. There was never a consistent time or day when anything would happen. I forget whether Bungie fight the General Mucus is in this one or two. It's in this one, I think. I mean, we all know New Junk City. It's a gross-ass tire fire of a level. And then there's Hell, which is just an inscrutable mess. And then there's this underwater level. I know. Yep. And then there's the Bungie snot. It's just... I don't know, man. It's like, why? It's like, why? I mean, obviously some people liked it. Obviously some people were down for the aesthetic. I admit to certain things, like this piece of key art right here, I like this. This looks cool. This reminds me of something like the Max, you know? It's got that like, it's really detailed, it's got some really dramatic shading on it, but it's something that is inherently absurd. It's a giant earthworm in a big muscly suit. Preferred MDK? You know, I never played MDK. I've had no experience with MDK. 90s were a hell of a time, yeah. Kid, you found gross out shit funny, but I grew out of it quickly. I think that was my problem. Is like, I grew out of that phase of childhood where like farts and boogers were funny way too fast. So anyway, they got another feature on this next month, so yeah. Oh my god, there's a giant spread for Demon's Crest. He looks horrible. It's sports ball time, chat. Aren't we excited for sports ball? Soon to your Ernest from Capcom. Earthworm Jim's blasters and Gungeon is his scan. I know. It's actually pretty fun. All right, sports scene. Basketball, NBA Live 95. Hey, that rhymes, chat. How exciting that is. Looks like it's a basketball month. We got NBA Live 95. More about... Wait, all of this is about NBA Live 95. Kind of like some of the PS2 NBA Lives. All right, we got Michael Andretti's IndyCar Challenge. You got IndyCar Yoshi. Oh my god, do y'all remember the fucking like suction cup Garfield dolls that people would stick to their car windows and stuff? Because that is a direct reference to that. Andretti Challenge is not Earthworm Jim. All right. It could be interesting. Racing games are fun sometimes. It distracts from Analyst James Payne, but also somehow works with headphones. This'll do. I mean, we're gonna go fast, chat. I need to be ready. We have Riddick at home. Racing snowboarding goggles, they do everything. Excuse me. I was looking at a real Oh my god. That song was from a game called Lady Stalker the Apocalypse Engine. It has an icon of a dagger crossed with a high-heeled shoe. That's fucked up. Sequel to Landstalker on Genesis? Well, I don't think I can call that a step up, really. Thank you, Michael Andretti. Part of the gimmick in the new Magic the Gathering says car racing for some reason, also that it sucks. That's me! That's not me! I understand that logo on any games that were in Japan only. Okay, that's just... That is one of the clearest voice clips I've ever heard on the Super NES. You're getting really in the racing theme? Does it actually feel like you're in 240 miles per hour? I hope so. I guess we're going to Australia. I don't know why they show a massive map of the United States with Australia down in the corner. Michael's advice! This is a fast track with very long straightaways. The straightaways are connected by a series of short turns, so quick and responsive steering is a must. Default. Sure. Sure, man.
Qualify.
Aw. But those sweet guitar licks.
Get ready. Go.
Where's my... Wait, that's going backwards. Why is the fucking X button the gas? That was a cool little arrow animation, at least.
Slow down.
I will say this looks really good. This is some of the better Mode 7 racing on the system. Indicators remind you more of Rally than anything. Oh, I was looking at chat. Ha 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 ha. If this was an actual F1 racer, I would be super dead right now. Really the feeling of driving an RC car to full 4 or 5 miles per hour? Yeah, for an F1 game, it does a really poor job of capturing the speed.
Slow down.
But I like all the detail work. I like the sparks coming off the car and like the dirt and grass that kicks up.
Result.
8th. Okay, cool. Good evening, Manic. Good to see you. I definitely believe the ones would drop from 100 to 25 in just moments because you weren't on the gas.
Go. Slow down.
Oh God, Jesus.
Good.
Good move. I think I killed that guy.
Slow down.
Also, I gotta admit, the music isn't much to listen to here. I mean, it's definitely improvement over all these bizarre ass racing games that have no music at all, but only just barely. I like the skybox. It's very pretty skybox.
Good move. Slow down.
Oh shit. Oh God. Oh Jesus. It really does feel like Mario Kart when you hit stuff, though. Engine noises, at least engine-y, a bit anemic. It does sound appropriate, at least.
Slow down. Good move.
Oh, God damn it.
Slow down. Good move. Slow down.
Well, first and second are so far out ahead, I don't think there's any conceivable hope of catching them. Michael Andretti condone the use of guns on the track? Wait.
Slow
Michael
down.
Andretti doesn't need to know about everything that happens on the track.
Slow down. Refuel.
Refuel.
Good move.
He told me to slow down, and then when I didn't, he was like, good move. What an idiot. Alright, best I could do was fifth. Can't we tell the big game audio clip catchphrase for this is slow down? Well, hello there. Today's events, replay? No.
Result.
Came in fifth. Series rankings. Fifth. Gobbledygook. It's password. It's a big fucking oval. It's got a Game Boy port in Japan.
Michael's advice.
Getting through traffic is the key to success here. Pay attention to the curves. It's all curves, Michael. Time for NASCAR. I wonder if the edges are banked. They're probably not.
Get ready.
Yeah, it looks like it's completely flat.
Go.
Alright, I'm sorry to say this is really boring. Wow. I don't need to race around in a big circle. Devs this also did Jade Cocoon. Also, I gotta take this thing off. It's squeezing my head really hard. Oh, can you see the lines on my face? Turn left, Oddish, no! Okay. Oh, my face. God damn. Seems like a boring version of Tokyo Extreme Racer without the cool progression and personality. I think they played it too straight, honestly. They played it too much as a straight F1 game. There's nothing interesting about it. Alright, what the hell we got over here? Mindscape. NCAA football. Final Four basketball. Al Unser's Jr. Road to the Top. Follows Al Jr.'s racing career from go-karts to Indy cars. That's interesting. Yeah, where was Yoshi and all that? Over on the right-hand page, we have street hockey. Maybe the hockey equivalent of Street Fighter. Never get much of a shit about college sports, so I can't tell you much about those. I would be kind of interested to know from an actual sports game fan if there's a difference between like college sports games and like pro level sports games. Because there does tend to be a difference in how the games play out. Cute 30s comic book backpage ad parody though, 50s, 60s, yeah, the classic bully at the beach, except on the skate rink this time. Yes, it is based on a very famous ad. What is this music? This is from Lady Stalker, the Apocalypse Engine. It doesn't have any other annotations than that, so I couldn't tell you what the context is, but yeah. Loving the ancient photoshopping. Shot clocks are more generous in college sports, but fouls are more punishing. Very clowncore. Circus-based. Alright, I'm gonna put this back. Lady Stalker sounds progressive. Yeah, I know. Not a great look as apparently the sequel to Land Stalker. What else we got? Oh god, Madden's back! Brace yourselves. We got ESPN Sunday Night NFL, Madden NFL 95, Jam It, and the Cannondale Cup? I don't know what the hell that is. TLDR, you're the lady who stalks. Ah, you are a lady stalking across perhaps the land. Remember, to score a goal, you gotta kick the ball. I'm John Madden. You know, we make fun of John Madden, but I was reminded recently that he had a partner for football telecasts. I forget his name, but I was reminded that they Madden was popular, Madden was famous because he was a great telecaster. He always had something to say. You know, and yeah, sometimes it was insipid shit like that, but a lot of the time he and his partner would just riff on whatever's going on and add a lot of personality to the telecast. So yeah. Pat Summerall, that was it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Also, I see Chris Berman sneaking back in here again. I hope whoever won that power pole contest enjoyed their time with him. Hey, what's this? This looks cool. Damn. Shit. Look at that. Dude is generally pretty good at telecasting, legit knowledgeable and able to joke around. Yeah. Yeah, and I get the impression that that's missing from a lot of sports commentation. Just move on from this garbage. You shut your mouth, Eva. Had enough out of you. All right, so let's track what we've done so far. I wonder how all our favorite NFL guys are to golf with. Marry, fuck, kill with the people on the screen. Well, you already know what I'm going to say about Ultros. I mean, that one's just obvious, really. Final Fantasy 3 looks pretty neat. It's too bad they never released it in North America. Alright, Terra fighting machine, rescued by the returners, Figaro Castle, meet Edgar the King. Mount Colt, scale the peak, hideout, returner headquarters, Leet River, raft the river, Ultros, 8 tentacles of terror. Well, obviously Arcane. He's got the tentacles. They have a little mention of the branching paths here. Okay, they actually break down all the paths. So lock scenario, how you steal clothes, meet Celes, Terra's scenario. What the hell? What the hell is this little pink dragon dude here? Purple dragon dude? Now how much of a floozy all those opera types are like. Terra, that's her. Oh, that's what she transforms into? Half a page for Locke, half a page for Terra. And then they're gonna need at least 2 full pages for Sabin's scenario. Have you done Sabin's scenario yet? We're past the Opera House. We're actually on our way to Vector and the Magitech Research Facility. Yep, 1 full page is halfway there. The encampment, the Phantom Forest, to the caboose, ghosts, summer friendly. On the roof, hit the brakes, ghost train, Barren Falls, the Veld, shiny treasure, Serpent Trench, Nikea, and then Kefka's invasion, searching Narsh for treasure, Figaro, Collingen, Jidor. My last played, I happen to have Science stuck as a frog for the entire Phantom Train segment, including the end. How the fuck did you turn him into a frog? The googly eyes on Gal. Yeah, we actually have up here in the top right corner, this is a mono art of Terra in her Esper form, which is really, really cool, and kind of gives some important context to why people were rather terrified of her when she went screaming across the continent. This is also, I think the first time I played the game, I didn't know about taking Edgar and Sabin to Figaro, but you know, after I played the first time, then I read through these Nintendo Power features and I learned, oh, you get an extra cutscene if you bring them. Oh, I also didn't know this because I've never done it. In Collingen, when you meet Shadow, if you bring 3 people in your party, he'll offer to join you for 3,000 GP. You actually gotta pay him to show up. Here's a handy map of Zozo, if you're wondering how this fucking place was laid out. Zozo, City of Liars, Dangerous Climb, Dadaluma. Rama explains about Magicite. This also just spills the solution to the clock puzzle. Probably why I remember it so well. the Opera House, Ultros, the airship. Yeah, hang on one sec, chat. I'm gonna take a little peek-see here to see how far this goes. Okay. Oh God, okay. I'm just gonna skip past the rest of it because it goes into a bunch of spoilers for stuff we haven't seen yet. So, welcome to classified information. I just thought the tower was a cool setting for a dungeon. It fucking sucks to navigate. Zozo wasn't too bad. And it's kind of neat. I mean, I meant to mention that when we were playing, but I totally forgot. Japanese, well, actually Asian games and media possibly have this obsession with like lawless zones, like designated high crime areas. Like we either took all the criminals and we stuck them in a place, or all the criminals left and they made a crime land for that. I'm not sure it can be attributed entirely to Kowloon though, because Kowloon was a very, you know, it's a very specific thing to China. Like, I'm not even sure how familiar the general Japanese or Korean public was with Kowloon. The rest just had New York and you had to escape from it. We also had to escape from LA though. So Zozo is basically the designated crime zone of Final Fantasy VI. And they explained it as all the poor people of Jidor got tired of being around rich people and fucked off to make their own crime city. That's why I designed it, that way it makes sense in a fantasy game, yeah. Makes a surprisingly fucking amazing setting for an open world game. I mean, it's not exactly surprising. It's architecturally, it's one of the most interesting places that has ever existed on Earth. So yeah, being able to explore that freely is a really tantalizing concept. I joke, of course, I think the idea of the project is high density residential area for poor people makes sense. Yeah, I mean, Zozo was definitely inspired by some kind of dense, high crime urban area somewhere. Why did they not just crime the rich people? Because then you wouldn't have a cool ass crime town to run around in. Obviously. But yeah, I've always found that funny. Like, ages and ages ago at Nexon, when I worked on Dungeon and Fighter, that one had specifically a lawless district in one of their cities where a bunch of the missions took place. Like, it was a section of the city where everybody just fucking gave up trying to enforce any kind of law and order. And you see that in a surprising number of Asian games. Like residential urban areas where whatever the controlling government is, they're just like, yeah, don't worry about that part. It's fine. Did Tokyo have an infamous "don't go here, you'll fucking die" place in the 90s? No, it did not. The whole concept of the wrong side of the tracks is a pretty American one, I think. Like I'm sure like, you know, like European cities and stuff have their own dangerous areas, and there's certain cities that have worse reputations than others. But crime in Japan never really worked that way. Get trapped in Harajuku district and maybe accosted by Gwen Stefani. I think perhaps maybe it could also be just a story trope with no basis, kind of like how everything happens to high schoolers in manga just because it's easy to write. Well, see, I'm an English major. I can't live with myself unless I overanalyze everything. And it's a funny example you give there, Arcane, because I think there are actually reasons why high schoolers are so often used as the anchor point in stuff like manga. For no other reason than I think they tend to be the target demographic around which those stories swing. Like, high schoolers like to read stories about themselves, and older folks like to read stories that let them imagine them back in the shoes of their younger selves, having fantastic adventures that they never actually had. Yes, Wrong Side of the Tracks is literally an American concept. Yep. All I know is Cromartie High School is full of the greatest delinquents in the world. So yeah, it's just interesting to me. It's just really interesting to me. Like when there's such a prevalent theme in media, I find it very interesting to try and break down how that came about. You know, what is the cultural sourcing for this? But maybe that's just me. Anyway, classified information has, let's see. There's a little trick you can do on the pause screen of Stunt Race FX where I think you can make it like run backwards. Tecmo Super Bowl is a sound test. Star Trek The Next Generation has a mission warp. Super Street Fighter 2 has a special group battle and character profiles. Fighter's History has a boss code that'll let you play as that fucking clown guy. Contra Through the Alien Wars has a reset that doesn't require you to mash the button on the console. I think it's primarily because a lot of Japanese adults tend to be stuck in jobs where they don't have much freedom or autonomy. High school is pretty much the last time where kids have freedom before being shunted into the workforce. I mean, I always thought it was really obvious how so many pieces of Japanese media, and especially like manga and anime, are about like breaking free of society's shackles and like forging your own path, whether it be by being a wandering samurai or a crazy pirate or something. It's because their society is so damn rigid. And that's what everybody fantasizes about doing. Persona 5 is literally about breaking Japanese society. Yeah, that's just... That is like the quintessential theme in Japanese media. Jesus Christ, doesn't it suck when society makes you fit into this like convenient little box? Wouldn't it be cool if you didn't have to do that? Oh well, get your ass back on the train and back to work. Yeah, the power of friendship over the power of law. Double Dragon 5 attribute bonus. Oh, that's right. Double Dragon 5 had that stupid thing where you could like level up over the course of a tournament. Jim Power has a multi-bonus code. And Alfred Chicken has a chicken warp. Good for him. Good for him. Actually, chat, Nestor's not dead. He's down there. Nestor is still hanging out. But he won't for long. I think the only place we'll ever he should be dead. I think the only place we'll ever see Nestor again is during the Power Awards. Though probably at some point they ditch that branding too. Drive Redmond to finish the job. Oh boy, a Mortal Kombat special. My favorite part of Mortal Kombat. Spreadsheets. I mean, all joking aside, this is actually a pretty nice service of Nintendo Power to break down all the special moves and fatalities in the game. And to break down the hidden combatants, Smoke Jade and Noob Saibot. And it looks like there's some codes where you can skip ahead to Kintaro and Shao Kahn too. Which game causes more spreadsheets, fighting games or Fire Emblem? You know what? I'm actually gonna say fighting games. Fighting game, like, people who get hardcore into fighting games can break them down on such a mechanical level now. How to Train a New Guy Tonight is the cousin of the new owners. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Alright, one thing I want to see is what fatalities did everybody have in this? So everybody had a babality of friendship and the command for the combat tomb and pit. Liu Kang had a dragon snack and fatal uppercut. Scorpion had Toasty, Little Toasty, and Zoro Slash. Melina had the Man-Eater and Sai Pummel. Kung Lao had Siamese Cut and Hats Off. Raiden, Head Explosion and Death Penalty. Reptile, Invisislice, and Tongue Lash. I think the Tongue Lash is where he sticks out his tongue and rips your head off with it. Baraka has Decapitation and Give Him a Lift. Katana's Kiss of Death and Head Chop. Johnny Cage, Torso Ripoff and has a... That was always a hell of a thing to see in the arcades. Good old Johnny Cage wins, grabs the person by the chest, and rips the top half of their body off. Jax had Give Him a Hand and The Clapper. Sub-Zero, Deep Freeze and Ice Grenade. Shang Tsung, Nasal Burst and Soul Suck. Nasal Burst? I feel like I actually know what this is. Cause Shang Tsung had like that like soul smoke or something. Not nasal birth, nasal burst. It's behind me. Shang Tsung's list is over here. I think it was like he made his like soul stuff go up the other person's nose and made their head explode or something. Yeah, nasal burst. Cause I know Soul Sucker is just, you know, he picks you up and like wah, sucks your soul out and makes you a desiccated mummy or whatever. How was that? Indiana Jones's Greatest Adventures. Are they though? Are they really though? The crack of his whip, Indiana Jones heads into another one of his exciting adventures. His never-ending search for rare and wonderful artifacts keeps Dr. Jones moving from one adventure to another. Okay, wait. This is just like levels from all three of the original Indiana Jones movies. That's all. They basically rolled them all up into one game. You play through a bunch of stuff from Raiders of the Lost Ark. You play through a bunch of stuff from Temple of Doom, and you play through a bunch of stuff from Last Crusade. Nacelle burst is a really bad thing for Star Trek, so I know that much. Would Nintendo Power lie to you? Yes, absolutely, 100%, to my face. After creating a series of successful Star Wars games, JVC and LucasArts have turned their skills towards recreating the Indiana Jones movies. Once again, we have a classic in the making. Let's see. You got whip. You can roll. You can shoot. Give me. All right, Raiders of the Lost Ark. God, I hated this. Not the movie. Trying to play through this shit. The cave was bad enough, and then we have to do the big boulder escape. It's nuts. Let's see. There's Nepal. You gotta climb your way to the inn. You gotta work your way through the inn. Save Marion. I can't remember if we actually got to Cairo or not. Maybe we did. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, I'm not sure. Finding the Well of Souls, the actual Well of Souls. And then they just have insets for the Temple of Doom and the Last Crusade. Pretty big game, all things considered. when you put all this together, it's a pretty big game. Endive alert, my god! They say that carrots are good for your eyes, that alcohol will double your vision. Cute. All right. He has also vehicle levels. I've always wanted to do the airplane level. Always been curious about that one. I'm gonna have the code for it. Actually, yeah. I'll try playing through the early levels again, but we're either gonna get stuck or bored, frankly. The Indiana Jones games just doesn't have the same juice that the Super Star Wars games did. Factor 5. Pretty good animation. Start. Wacha. LucasArts production. Oh, LucasArts. I miss LucasArts. I often think back fondly of to all the weird and interesting Star Wars games of the 90s and 2000s. SNES music chip is not quite symphonic. I think they could have done better with what they had, frankly. Back before George Lucas lost his damn mind. All right, we're gonna get into this.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, I got the whip. Also, just gonna put it out there. I think it may have been a mistake to use the very general Indiana Jones theme instead of having more specifically atmospheric tracks for these levels. Because they're only gonna play the first level, give them their money's worth. Ow. How was that? Oh, somebody was shooting darts at my back. I don't like the life bar either. Like, you'd think the white part is the outline of the full bar and then the green part would fill it up. But no, it's the whole thing. When you lose life, the white part shrinks too. When's pod racing? Boy, I hope you watch the fucking movie. Or otherwise you never know to avoid the, shit. There we go. You never know to avoid the sunbeams. Of course, why exactly would anybody get and play this game if they hadn't watched the movies? Alright, did pretty good. First tried the first level. That wasn't so bad. Famous Indiana Jones line. That wasn't so bad. Passwords are in Greek letters. I'm gonna post the password for the Zeppelin level right before the airplane feedback.
Let's go.
All right, this level sucks though. Because they let this stupid fucking boulder. They let the stupid fucking boulder take up so much of the screen you can't see what's ahead of you. So I think the only way I can do this is to actually get murdered by the boulder, apparently.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, I guess I'm gonna die. Oh god, oh Jesus. Oh god. No, 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 no. Shit, 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 shit. Go, 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 Indy, go, Indy, go. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I did that. No, you weren't supposed to crash in the hole. If the rock catches up to you, you die. Period. You definitely move faster when you're jumping, and you have to make up your speed going down inclines. I think the idea is that you jump uphill and then run downhill to max out the speed. Yeah, there's the password for Nepal.
Let's go.
Do you have an indie hat? Unfortunately, no. And if we did, it wouldn't. And if we did, it wouldn't fit over my headphones. Yeah, I know you posted in feedback. Wow, they actually went no music for this one. But God, this level, more than any other so far, really feels like Super Star Wars. Super Empire specifically. Fucking... Fucking spontaneously generating snowballs? Ow! Fucking guy with gun? Oh! Man with gun got him. Better if all the enemies were snakes. I punched a bird! I just fucking punched a bird! Oh! What? Oh my god. Oh, Jesus God. Okay, that actually worked out. Dude, secret exit. That's awesome. Thank you, Bird. All right, Trade-On, have a good one, buddy. Oh, I think maybe we got stuck here last time. Yeah, the rising flames. So here's the deal, chat. This game is pretty solid as long as it's not making you, like, race against something. Once you start having to race, this game sucks ass. This is dumb, you have to actively collect a whip. You can, because you're absolutely right. It is deeply, deeply stupid that you have to collect the fucking whip. I mean, I guess the logic is Indy does a lot of brawling in the movies, and you wouldn't really have any excuse to if they just let you have the whip and especially your gun right from the outset. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh fuck. I think I remember getting stuck here.
Let's go.
And it really seems like most of the time they just give you the whip immediately anyway. Ugh. Now this, I don't get this. How do I... Okay, that's grenades. I want to switch... Because the problem is you push the box down there and it won't move any further. And then I can't... Fuck. What the hell are these guys in the background doing anyway? Like, fellas, there's a problem.
I've lost it.
I've lost it. Wait, do I have to do all of Nepal over again? Okay, I'm not doing all of Nepal again. Let's have a look at that code, shall we? Passes word. I love the little mini Indy there. Let me get this super shove.
Let's go.
Holy shit, that guy took a ton of damage! What the fuck? What the hell is going on? Do the enemies later in the game just have infinity health? Ow. Holy shit, dude. Good God. Random German mechanic just murked Indy.
Let's go.
Fortunately, that was a checkpoint. Let's see if we can just damage boost past these guys. I'm not sure this is gonna work. Hammer Bros mechanic. Achtung! Achtung! No ticket. That's insane! Why do they take so much damage? Oh no, we ain't doing this. I learned my lesson last time. Ah, shit. Okay, so this is a dead end. Oh god, the whole Zeppelin's a maze! Level C up to 1%. No, I'm about done with this. It's, tragically, it's just not worth it. Oh my god. Heaven above. What's up, Austin? How you doing tonight? I am trying to enjoy Indiana Jones's greatest hits, but I'm being harangued by enemies with basically infinite health. Oh, I made it, thank Christ. If I hard to believe the vehicle levels will be any better, we're about to find out. This is interesting. Okay, the German planes will fuck your shit all the way up. Not a Super Mario Land shmup level. Oh my god, I just noticed in the bottom right, you have to shoot down 33 planes. And if you get hit like 4 times, you die.
I've lost him.
Shadows, I fucking hate you. Shadows! Oh my god, dude. Continue screen is amazing. Yeah, I love it. He's like, I lost him. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay. It's trash mammal, not good at passwords mammal. Alright, well. We got to see a little bit of Last Crusade at least. I want this game to be more interesting. I want it to be better balanced and more engaging, because I love the Indiana Jones films. I love the Indiana Jones films, and I love the Super Star Wars games, and it feels like they should just fit together so well, and they don't. It never ends up being as fun as Super Star Wars. It always feels like there's something wrong, like just a little something off with every level. It's so annoying. I really wish it was better. I really wish it was better. Like, look, dude, there's a level in the Temple of Doom section where you get to ride on the fucking raft that they jump out of the airplane with. Like, that's so cool. Obviously, there's gonna be like a minecart level too. I think there's even a scene where you like fight the people at dinner at Pankot Palace, which is hilarious. But yeah, it just doesn't come together. It just doesn't come together. It sucks. All right, chat. Well, we got to the exciting part, but I'm afraid this is where we're gonna have to stop for the night. because it is late and I am tired and I don't have the energy to crack into Super Adventure Island 2 right now. But I will on Saturday. We will be back on Saturday. Oh God, that key art. That is the official Hudson art, by the way. Like, that was, as far as I know, that is not American marketing fucking around. But yeah. Okay, so, schedule. Tomorrow night. Weird Old Wheel, Variety Night, something. We're doing something tomorrow night. It'll be fun, I promise. We will be back here on Saturday. Saturday will be our next Power Hours night. We'll check out Super Adventure Island 2. And, I mean, straight up, we are over halfway through the magazine right now. It is not outside the realm of possibility that we could just clear through November 1994 in 2 nights. Just depends on how much stuff y'all request on Saturday and how much rambling we do, as we are wont to do. So yeah, Variety Night tomorrow night, more Power Hours on Saturday, no stream on Sunday. I don't stream on Sunday. And then Monday we will be back with Final Fantasy III on Super Nintendo. What we know now as Final Fantasy VI. It's a very, we're very much in our Super NES era here. We are thick with Super NES games. Basically doing Super NES games 5 out of 6 nights of the week. So yeah. And I can tell you firsthand, I am loving it. I'm very, very happy to be back on my SNES bullshit. Trying to do spicy check makes it fucking disgusting. Alright, anyway, chat. Let me go find somebody for y'all to raid. Let's go hang out with somebody. Don't you want somebody to raid? Don't you need somebody to raid? Alright, Bassy's doing Fallout New Vegas some more. Let's go hit him up before they stop for the evening. Let's go catch him while we can. Gotta catch them all. Alright, anyway, gang, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for joining me for another night of the Power Hours. We just kind of blew through this magazine. If I remember correctly, there's only 2 more Super NES games in this. Super Adventure Island 2 and Wild Snake, and then the 1 Game Boy game, and then just the rest of the features. So, yeah. It's a shame that this one isn't more engaging, partially because all the interesting games we kind of pulled out and already started elsewhere. But on the other hand, gets us to the next issue even faster, and it gets us that much closer to 1995, which is where things really pop off. So anyway, gang, thanks again for coming out. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for whatever variety thing I bring to the table. But until then, as always, y'all take care. Bye, everybody.